Can hocam isterseniz başlayalım
Olur, ben
vakitte şey
başlayayım.
yapmak açısından.
Tamam,
Hı
tamam.
hı.
Hepinize iyi akşamlar diliyorum. Bugün sağ olsun doçent doktor Eray Atalay hocamızın katkılarıyla ve öğrencilerimizin katkılarıyla tabii yabancı konuşmacılarla birlikte Doktor Ratarat ve Hans Johnson aynı zamanda Türkiye'den değişik alanlardan pediatri ve biyokimya alanlarından sağlıklı dijitalleşmeyle uğraşan ve kariyer planlamasını yapan hocalarımızı çağırdık. Yusuf Yeşil hocamız ve Oğuzhan Serin hocamız. Farklı alanlar, farklı disiplinlerde tabii ki hocalarımız hep geliyor ama hepsinde ortak özellik sağlıklı dijitalleşme alanında kendilerini yetiştiren e, hocalarımız. Ben Eray Hoca'ya çok çok teşekkür ediyorum. Hem daimi katkılarından dolayı öğrencilerimize hem de sağlıklı dijitalleşme alanında ve biyomalzeme alanındaki çalışmalarından dolayı ve bu organizasyon için hem de öğrenci arkadaşlarımıza da teşekkür ediyorum. I would like to thanks Dr. Ratarat and Dr. Johnson for their contribution to this actually great uh, seminar. So lots of students will be listening us along with some of the colleagues from our university. Thanks a lot. Şimdi Oğuzhan Bey'i davet edeceğim ilk konuşması için. Teşekkür ederiz.
Ben de teşekkür ederim. Ben izninizle ekranımı paylaşıyorum. Umarım görüyorsunuzdur ekranımı. Şimdi evet. Ee, Teşekkür ederim öncelikle. Hem dekan hocamıza, Eskişehir Osman Gazi Üniversitesi Tıp Fakültesi Dekanlığı'na hem de Biyosistem Kor araştırma ekibine bize bu fırsatı tanıdıkları için teşekkür etmek istiyoruz. Bugün iki oturumda gerçekleşecek sunumumuz. İlk oturumda 20 dakika kadar Türkçe gerçekleşecek. Bu süreçte ben tamamen Türkçe konuşuyor olacağım. İkinci oturumda yaklaşık 40 dakika süresince panelistlerimizle beraber İngilizce oturum gerçekleştireceğiz. Orada da onların içgörülerini alacağız. Bugün biz dijital sağlık özelinde sağlıkın yeni nesil kariyerleri inceleyeceğiz. Şimdi aslında bu bir kariyer etkinliği olduğu için ben birazcık Türkiye'deki tıptan da bahsetmek istiyorum. Gerçekten bazı verilerle bahsetmek istiyorum. Ardından dijital sağlığın ne olduğunu ufak bazı kişisel örneklerle bahsedeceğim. Ardından panelimize geçeceğiz. Ardından da bu süre zarfına sığmayan konuları, aynı da bu ve sonraki panelin içeriklerini ve bazı kariyer kaynaklarını katılımcılara mail olarak göndermeyi planlıyoruz. Şimdi kim konuşuyor diye merak edenler olursa ben çocuk sağlığı hastalıklı uzman olarak çalışıyorum şu an Türkiye'de. Yaklaşık 2,5 senelik uzmanlık kariyerimden sonra Chevening bursları sayesinde İngiltere'nin Bristol Üniversitesi'nde dijital sağlık yüksek lisansı master yaptım. Türkiye'ye henüz döndüm, henüz göreve başladım. E, Bugün de burada bilgilerimi, gördüklerimi sizlerle paylaşmaya çalışacağım. Ben sözlerime bir tıp fakültesi deyimiyle başlamak istiyorum. Tıbbiyeden her şey çıkar, arada bir de doktor çıkar. Bu söz Cenab-ı Şahabettin'e ait. Kendisi bir Servet-i Fünun yazarı, 3 kişiden biri. Kendisi tıp fakültesi eğitiminin ardından Fransa'ya, Paris'e gönderiliyor. Cildi ihtisası yapmak üzere. Orada edebiyata merak salıyor, şair oluyor. Ülkeye döndükten sonra Osmanlı zamanında bir süre hekim olarak çalışsa da kendisi sonra edebiyat fakültelerinde profesör olarak hayatına devam ediyor ve o şekilde hayata sonlanıyor. Kendisi aynı zamanda bu sözün de sahibi olduğu düşünülüyor. Şimdi bu bir kariyer değişikliği aslına baktığınız zaman. Biz de bugün aslında bunu konuşacağız. Ama öncelikle ben biraz da katılımcıların motivasyonlarını merak ediyorum. Tıp fakültesi tercih ederkenki motivasyonlarını. Dolayısıyla hani katılımcılardan, sizlerden dolayısıyla bu QR kodu okutmanızı isteyeceğim veya menti.com'a direkt girerek aşağıdaki kodu yazarak fakültesi tercihlerinizi sizi motive eden sebepleri seçenekler bulacaksınız. Onları işaretlemenizi isteyeceğim. Biraz bekleyip birkaç cevap geldikten sonra ki gelmiş bile hemen hızlıca ben sonuçları sunumun sonuna sürpriz olarak bırakıyorum. Sizler lütfen doldurmaya devam ediniz. Birkaç veriden bahsetmek istiyorum bu süre zarfında. Yakın zamanda yapılan bir çalışmada öğrencilerin lisans derecelerinin tercih sebepleri arasında en etkililerden bir tanesinin aileler olduğu ve sonra da arkadaşları olduğu gösterilmiş. Aynı zamanda kişilerin ilgi alanları, maddi kaygıları ve okulda kazandığı beceriler de bu tercihlerde rol oynamış. Peki neden tıp fakültesini tercih etmiş öğrenciler diye bakıldığı zaman da en önemli motivasyonun başkalarına yardım etme motivasyonu olduğunu görüyoruz ve hani topluma faydalı bir birey olma motivasyonu olduğunu görüyoruz. Ardından da kariyer imkanları, iş güvencesi ve iyi ödeme alma durumları da geçerli oluyor. Bunlar temel motivasyonlar tıp fakültesi tercihinde. Tekrar hatırlatıyorum anketimizi ve devam ediyorum. Ben kariyerimiz hayatımız diyerek devam etmek istiyorum. Yakın zaman değil aslında ama Amerika üzerine yapılmış bir çalışmada insanların kendilerinden çok, özellikle bizim yaş grubunun, bu 20 ve 35 yaş aralığı grubunun kendilerinden çok en çok kendileri zaman ayırıyorlar ama ondan sonra iş arkadaşları zaman geçiriyorlar. Dolayısıyla kariyerlerimiz hayatımızda çok önemli bir rol oynuyor. Aynı zamanda benzer çalışma OECD ülkelerinde yapılmış. Burada Türkiye'yi görüyorsunuz ama burada siz için altını çizmek istediğim şey, uykudan sonra en çok biz işe zaman ayırıyoruz. Türkiye içinse boş vaktimiz işe ayırdığımız zamandan daha fazla olduğu gözüküyor. Ancak ben buna katılmıyorum. İzninizle kısa hemen bahsedeceğim. Biz hani hepimiz doktorlar, memurlar olarak hani ya da insan olarak hepimiz aynı zaman bilançosuyla güne başlıyoruz. Ortalama 8 saat uyuyup işlerimize gidiyoruz. Türkiye'de ortalama bir doktor ya da memur da mesaisini, ona hazırlanma sürecini, gittiği yolu ve geldiği yolu ve sonrasındaki dinlenme sürecini kattığımız zamansa bize kabaca 12 saat bir zaman maliyeti söz konusu ki bu da uykumuzdan çok daha fazla. Dolayısıyla motivasyonumuz kuvvetli olmalı. Çünkü işimiz hayatımızın yarısını, günümüzün yarısını alıyor dolayısıyla. O zaman motivasyonumuzun sağlam olması gerekiyor. Ee, Bununla beraber tıpta yeni bir kavram söz konusu. Artık rekabet. Ee, Sizi şu konuda düşünmeye teşvik etmek istiyorum. Yeni öğretim yılı için tıp fakültelerinde okuyan öğrenci sayısının ne olduğunu tahmin edebiliyor musunuz? Bilmiyorum ama ben size bir veri paylaşacağım. Yakın zamanda Ağustos ayında bir toplantı yapıldı. Sağlık Bakanlığı ve yetkilileriyle beraber. Son 20 yılda tıp fakültesi kontenjanı 4 kattan fazla arttı. Ve toplamda öğrenci sayısı 6 senede mezun olacak öğrenci sayısının 120 bin olduğu açıklandı. Peki şu anda Türkiye genelinde hekim sayısı ne kadar? Gene Sağlık Bakanlığı verileri. En güncel veri 2022 yılına ait. Şu an Türkiye'de toplam 116 bin hekim var. Ve 6 sene içerisinde bunun kadar hekim daha iş gücü piyasasına girecek. Tabii ki rekabet oluşacak. Rekabette kariyer değişikliği söz konusu olacak. Kimilerimiz böyle farklı kariyerlere zaten çoktan gitmiş durumda. Ama hemen endişelenmeye de gerek yok. Daha Türkiye'nin önünde uzun bir yol var. OECD ülkelerinde bakılan toplam hekim sayıları arasında her 1000 kişide Türkiye 2 tane hekim düşüyor. Dolayısıyla oldukça daha gerideyiz. Daha gidecek çok yolumuz var. Hani iş garantimiz kaybolmayacak belki ama rekabetimiz artacağı kesin. Dolayısıyla rekabette kendimizi farklılaştırmamız gerekebilir. Şimdi dijital sağlık bunun neresinde? Biz tıp fakültesini bitirince ya klinik ya da klinik dışı branşlara gidiyoruz. Ya da klinik dışı alanlara gidiyoruz. İlla tıp fakültesiyle ilgili olmak zorunda değil. Dijital sağlık aslında bunun tam kesişiminde yer alıyor. Peki ne bu dijital sağlık? Ne kastediyoruz bu dijital sağlıktan? Oldukça yeni bir kavram aslına bakarsanız. Bu yüzden de birçok büyük kuruluş tanım yapmaya çalışıyor süre zarfında. Ee, Farklı tanımlar söz konusu ama temelde şunu söylemek gerekir. Dijital teknolojilerin insan sağlığı için kullanılması ve insan yararı için kullanılması olarak özetleyebiliriz. Burada teknoloji, sağlık ve iletişimin devreye girmesi gerekiyor. Yani insan için ve insanla yapılan bir süreç olması gerekiyor dijital sağlık için. Kabaca bir teknolojiyi bir sağlık sorunu için kullanıp insanlar için bir çıktı elde etmeye çalışacağız dijital sağlıkta. Örneğin hastalar yazılan ilaçları almayı unutuyor ve almayı tercih etmiyorlar. Siz bunun için bir uygulama geliştirip hatırlatma yapabilirsiniz. Bu da hastalar için daha iyi bir ilaç uyumuna ve daha iyi bir kronik hastalık yönetimine sebep olabilir, sonuç olabilir. Dolayısıyla bu bir dijital sağlık örneğidir. Kendimden de bir örnek vermek istiyorum. Biz En son yaşadığımız büyük deprem zamanında çocuk acillerin çocuk hekim dışındaki klinisyenler tarafından yönetildiğini fark etmiştik. Bu da biraz komplikasyonu artırıyordu. Dolayısıyla hızlı bir web uygulaması yaptık. İlaç dozu, maye hesabı için. Ve bunda sonuçlarını yakın zamanda yayınladık. Bu da bir dijital sağlık örneği. Yine bizim keza beraber yaptığımız arkadaşlarımızda bu pediatride bu karmaşık dozlamların, karmaşık vakaların yönetimi için klinik pratik karar desteği uygulaması da yaptık. Bu da gene iyi bir çıktıyı hedefleyen, bir sorunu çözmeye amaçlayan bir teknoloji kullanımı örneği. Dediğim gibi dijital sağlık hızla yükseliyor. Benim fakülteye girdiğim yıllarda, 2010 yıllarında neredeyse hiç ilgi yokmuş. Bu Google Trend analizi, Google arama barına girilen digital health terminolojisinin analizi. E, Ben daha mezun olmadan yavaş yavaş artışlar söz konusu olmuş ama sonrasında yakın zamanda özellikle 2017 yılından sonra hızlı bir artış olduğunu gözlemlemekteyiz. Özellikle şu anda günümüzde de bu ilgi ve bu trend tepede. Peki dijital sağlıkta hangi meslekler söz konusu? Aslında iki tarafa ayırmak lazım. İki uç var. Burada bir teknik taraf, bir de klinik taraf. Ee, Ama burada şunu söylemek de doğru. Bu çok fazla meslek alanı ve meslek grubu var. Ben sadece bazılarını daha etkili, daha büyük göstermek istedim ama en önemlisi belki burada e, veri olacaktır. Sağlık informatiği özellikle hem klinik hem teknoloji tarafını ilgilendiren önemli bir parametre. Özellikle şirketler bunun dışında ürün geliştirme süreçlerine odaklanıyorlar. Bu anlamda klinisyenleri ve teknik tarafta elemanları istihdam ediyorlar. Onun haricinde ülkelerin sağlık sistemlerine uygulamalar girmek istediği zaman belli kurallara tabiler. Bu kurallara geçmesine yardımcı olacak kişiler de istihdam edilebiliyor. Bunun haricinde teknik tarafla klinik taraf arasında iletişim kuracak insanlar da çok önemli. Ve tabii ki araştırma e, ve hepimizin bildiği telesağlık. Telesağlıkta Türkiye'de bir takım gelişmeler söz konusu oldu yakın zamanda. Şubat 2022'de yönetmelik yayınlandıktan sonra çok sayıda dijital sağlık uygulaması ortaya çıktı. Bazı büyük sağlık firmaları, büyük şirketler de buna girdi. Kimi küçük şirketler de yavaş yavaş girmeye başladı. Hatta bir takım ilanlarda görebilirsiniz internette. Şu anda hekim arayışı içerisinde bazı firmalar. Ee, Şimdi dijital sağlıkla ilgili çok fazla meslek var. Bu meslekleri çok çeşitli. Hepsini burada bahsetmem mümkün değil ama burada dijital sağlıkla ilgili insanları, ilgili ilanları ve şirketleri takip etmek çok önemli. Ben bu panelin katılımcılarına özel bir form hazırlıyorum. Bu formu yakında bu raporumuzda paylaşacağız. Burada bu dijital sağlıkla ilgili ilanları, insanların nasıl takip edebileceğinizi yönelik bir yönlendirme Excel'i olacak, öyle söyleyeyim. Lütfen o açıdan da takipte kalmanızı tavsiye ediyorum. Şimdi anketimizin sonuçlarına bakalım. E, e, Anketimizde en çok kişisel ilgi alanı ve akademik başarı seçilmiş. E, Beklentimin aksine başkana yardım etme isteği biraz daha aşağı tarafta kalmış. Zaten iş güvencesini ve maddi beklentileri de konuşmuştuk. E, Ben dijital sağlık özelinde bu konuyu kısa kesmek istiyorum. Benim bahsedeceğim konuları. Çünkü panelistlerimiz ve panelde ben de birçok konudan bahsedeceğiz. Aynı zamanda raporda da ben birkaç şey gönderiyor olacağım sizlere. Dolayısıyla daha derinlemesine bilgi sahibi olacaksınız. Şunu söylemek istiyorum, özellikle yeni gelişen bir alan. Özellikle yeni tıp fakültesinde okuyan arkadaşların, yeni mezunların bu alanın farkında olması bile kendilerini yönlendirmeleri için yeterli olacaktır diye düşünüyorum. Um, let's go to panel, and I'm handing over my speech to Dr. Eray. We are letting you speak, Dr. Eray.
So yes, I'd like to thank Dr. Serin for this very insightful and engaging opening talk. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank our faculty dean, Professor Atilla Özcan Özdemir, for his introduction to our meeting. So just to provide a quick overview of myself, I'm also a Chevening scholar, as some of the other speakers in this panel. I'm an ophthalmologist and hold a master's degree in biomaterials and tissue engineering. Currently, I lead a biomaterials and stem cell research group. We aim to develop novel therapies for ocular surface injuries caused by mainly by industrial accidents. So going back to this panel, personally, I find it very fascinating to see how the career pathways have evolved and diversified over the years for us, for medical graduates, basically. So far, we've heard from Dr. Serin about the whys, basically the reasons to seek such alternative career pathways. Now, I hope we will delve into the hows with our distinguished speakers who have actually tapped into the potential of these exciting avenues. Without further ado, I'd like to invite Dr. Johnson to briefly introduce himself, followed by Dr. Yeşil and Dr. Ratarat. Following the personal introductions, our postgraduate representative, Dr. Semih Ceylan, and our undergraduate representative, Mert Egemen Çalışkan, will convey their questions. They've collated some questions from their colleagues, and they will convey these questions to the panelists. So I hand over the microphone to Dr. Johnson, and then to Dr. Yeşil, and then to Dr. Ratarat. Thank you very much.
Hi, Dr. Ashley. Thank you so much. It's great to meet everyone, and thank you, Augustin, for introducing and laying the framework and foundations. It was a great talk. So in terms of my background, I'm also a medical doctor working mainly in acute medicine, currently doing a PhD in digital health, and at the same time, I also work as an editor for the BMJ, and also work in the digital health industry as a clinical researcher as well for a digital health company called Manual, which is one of the biggest digital health companies in the UK. Startup that was developed about 5 years ago, and they've grown very rapidly, and they have a very global presence at the moment in the UK and Brazil, and the plans to expand further. And I also have my own background in having my PhD project, which is looking at AI and healthcare, and also implementing it for public health issues such as vaccine hesitancy, medication adherence hesitancy. And currently I'm part of the NatWest Accelerator. NatWest is one of the biggest banks in the UK, and they help companies develop their spin-outs and to get investors further down the line. So I'm developing that with them in the accelerator program to try and create my PhD idea into a potential spin-out. So I'm very much interested in digital health. And this is also where I met Dr. Serin as well. He's one of our fellow colleagues and students as well. And we did the digital health course together. And it's a very good opportunity from that perspective to do digital health, because you get to not only expand your knowledge as a doctor and a clinician, but you also get to apply this across various fields, especially when technology is involved. We're at a unique position where we understand the patient and their relatives, and we can take a holistic care that's both practical and applicable, and also quite logical, which a lot of individuals who purely focus on tech won't be able to understand or appreciate, because they have that gap in the patient-doctor relationship interaction, because we have a more of a humanistic side to our practice. Hence, being a clinician and also being involved in tech, deep tech, be it from telemedicine all the way into cybersecurity or deeper tech applications, there's a very good usage of doctors in this field. And obviously this field is expanding very rapidly with the boom of AI. And it's very important that we integrate our knowledge and practice, and also keep up to date with what's happening as well. And also not to limit ourselves to purely 100% clinical practice, but to also diversify our background, because through that you gain a lot of interests. You also get a lot of opportunities as well that will arise. And a lot of my colleagues will tell you a lot of these opportunities arise purely through just being curious and being in the moment, because a lot of these options are very much, not always fixed in place, and they're available through various means. And a lot of it's through meeting individuals who are like-minded, or even meeting founders through accidents. It's very important to bear all that in mind. And I believe there were some questions, Serin, from Dr. Serin from the panels.
So yes, after the brief, after all the panelists introduce themselves, our representatives will convey the questions. So maybe Dr. Yeşil, either in Turkish, English, whichever you prefer, could you please introduce yourself to the audience?
Thank you for invitation again, and pleasure to being here. I am Yusuf Yesil, and also I am a medical doctor, have a specialty in clinical biochemistry. And also I am an entrepreneur who is working since almost 7 years to develop some digital apps and website and some kind of products about digital health. And especially I am working on AI and healthcare since 4 years. And also we have a team doing this great stuff together. And some of our previous product was, for example, Flu AI is analyzing throat picture to analyzing and deciding to is it bacterial or viral pharyngitis. Or now currently another product we are working on is a Yeşil Health. It's a LLM that answering the question of the health question from the scientific literature. And also some of our another project is analyzing to latest health AI articles and generating a quick brief review about each articles and publishing on our platform and community. And also I am doing my master also in health informatics system. And yeah, I think that's enough for maybe a quick introduction. Looking forward for next questions.
Thank you very much, Dr. Yeşil. It's your turn, Dr. Ratarat. Could you please introduce yourself to the audience?
Oh, okay. Thank you for having me here. My name is Dr. Chitsanupong Ratarat, or you can call me Dr. Will. I'm a board-certified pediatrician from Thailand. I'm currently doing master in digital health and entrepreneurship at UCL. It's under the school called Global Business School for Health. It's the first business school dedicated to healthcare. So unlike all other courses, this course is more focusing on the business side. So how you take those exciting technology and actually sell that, and also to make sure that if you're gonna come up with the startups, your business are gonna work. And and that's also where I met Dr. Serin in one of the conference in Birmingham. It's a digital Rewired. And that's where we have making networking with all the digital health professional and specialists. Thank you.
So yeah, thank you very much. I thank the panelists for the great introductions, and their career pathways are actually very fascinating, interesting. I feel that our students the audience currently listening to us are very fascinated with these interesting stories. So I hand over the microphone first to Dr. Semih Ceylan, who has actually graduated from medical school 2 years back. He has collated some questions from his colleagues, and he will convey these questions to you. And then that will follow with Mert Egemen Çalışkan, who is actually a 5th-year medical student. He has also gathered some questions from his friends. So yeah, the panel will follow with these sessions. So Dr. Ceylan, could you please turn on your camera and your presentation as well?
Yeah, good day everyone. My name is Semih and I'm a graduate of Eskişehir Osman Gazi University Medical School, and I'm currently working as a general practitioner. Firstly, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to our esteemed guests and also our dear professors for this invaluable opportunity. I have a keen interest in these topics actually, and also have gathered some questions from my colleagues. With that, I would like to begin the question and answer session. So my first question is directed to Dr. Johnson. I have two questions for you, Dr. Johnson. So I'd like to begin with the first one.
Yeah.
Please, could you share your insights on potential career opportunities, such as roles within academic journals for medical school graduates?
Yeah, so in terms of this pathway, it's very much, and you mean medical student graduates or current medical students at the moment, Semi?
Actually, I'm a representative for medical school graduates, but
Yeah.
if you can have a time for this, also our students, you
of
can
course.
also share your experiences too, please.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, so in terms of these opportunities, so having a research background always helps to be part of any journals or any publication institutions that very much look at research itself. So be it that you did research in your undergrad, during medical school, or during your master's, or if you did further education, that will really help build up your portfolio in terms of having a research background, especially working with a same professor or different professors or senior lecturers. And it could be in any field. For example, I mainly specialize mainly in systematic reviews and meta-analysis from an academic point of view. And I have a master's in research as a background as well. I'm doing a PhD now. But in terms of becoming a peer reviewer for an actual journal itself, so this usually happens multiple ways. The first way is you actually publish with the journal, and after you have multiple publications, they sometimes reach out to you for future work that people have published into the journal itself, and then you end up peer reviewing like that. So it's very much invitation based. But in terms of actually being in the editorial process within a journal, for example, I work as a clinical editor in the BMJ and in quality assurance as well. So in terms of this specific pathway, this is something you can actually apply for. So the BMJ, which I'm sure a lot of you have heard of, the British Medical Journal, and many other journals, they tend to advertise a lot of editorial or reviewer options and jobs on their websites usually. So it's always worthwhile, targeting a journal you like, depending on the specialty, your interest, and then mapping out what journals are out there. For example, if you're into digital healthcare, BMC is another journal. They have their own digital health hub. And it's worth always looking at these and opportunities as well. Furthermore, sending emails never harm, or actually being in touch with primary editors and main editors within these journals as well. So reaching out is actually very powerful. Sometimes people may ignore you, but that's quite normal. People are quite busy, but other times if you reach out and show that you're very keen to send your CV over as well and your background of your research, if you have done research, because typically if you want to be part of a review process, they expect you have done some research as a background, so you have an understanding. That's always helpful as well. And in terms of the research element, is always worthwhile having a portfolio of your research. So some people have this via Google Scholar. I personally use ORCID, so ORCID. I'm sure a lot of you may have heard of that. If you haven't, it's worthwhile just Googling them, setting a profile on there, and you can, it's essentially a CV but for research, and you can put your publications on there and your relevant publications, authorships, what you're currently studying, what your qualifications are. And from this pathway, once you have that base set up, you can always reach out to different journals if they haven't advertised any specific jobs and say you're interested in being a reviewer or a potential editor within the journal institution, and ask for any opportunities. And like I said, it's not going to be 100% hit rate, but it's much better than expecting someone to reach out to you. So that's a very good way to do this. So have a defined CV tailored for research, have a portfolio set up through either Google Scholar or ORCID, and send an email across to these different institutions or publication houses, and just reach out essentially.
Okay, thank you for your answer, Dr. Johnson. But actually, I'd like to ask more about full-time or part-time paid job opportunities in these journals or kind of corporations for medical school graduates. Are these editorial or journal missions jobs are full-time and also paid jobs?
Yeah. So I'll just start off with my personal experience, and then I expand onto the generalized ecosystem for this. So for myself personally, I work for the BMJ on a freelance basis. So I can work either once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week, up to 5 times a week. And it's very much based off how many hours I log. So that's one way some journals do it. You can work as a freelance editor. So essentially, I edit their best practice and I check that information's up to date, and we use that for one of their specific educational tools they're creating for the US at the moment. So I work on that personally myself. And the BMJ itself advertise their jobs online. So they have junior editor, senior editor, junior researcher, senior researcher for publications and journals. So all these jobs are paid, and these companies don't expect, if it's a researcher editor, this would be paid. However, if it's a peer reviewer, it's usually expected it's done for free, essentially, for most journals, because peer reviewing is a process in the scientific community where you actually critique each other's work, and it's usually expected that you do this on a voluntary basis if you're invited to peer review for a journal.
Okay, thank you for your insights, Dr. Johnson. Also, I'd like to ask the second question to you. As a peer reviewer, what key aspects do you focus on while evaluating manuscripts?
Yeah, so in terms of peer reviewing and looking at manuscripts, so there's various things you need to consider. So firstly, depending on which field it's been sent in, for example, if I was working on general practice and I was sent a paper to review on the general practice, you'll very much get that paper, and then you need to consider the context first, of course, of the paper itself, and to see how relevant it is. And usually when you get a paper, the authors and institutions usually hidden, so you don't have any bias in case you know them. So it's very much confidential what you get in terms of the actual script itself. So what you'd initially do is you would have a outline of the journal itself. You'll look at it. You will initially have a read of the abstract to have an understanding. The abstract, for those who may not potentially know, is just a summarization of the paper itself, usually from 200 to 350 words. And you'll have a look at the abstract, and you'll try to understand what the paper is about. You look at the title, of course, to see how relevant it is. Does it make sense to you? Then you look at the abstract, and then what you need to do is you need to critique the actual paper itself. So in the abstract, it was split into what the general paper is about, the objectives, the potential hypothesis, the methodology, the results, and a conclusion. And then you try to understand what each of these are in the abstract itself to get a general picture of the paper. Then you move on to the actual paper. So you'll look at the introduction. You'll see how relevant the introduction is, how applicable it is to our current scientific and medical climate, how important it is to the field of interest. And then you would actually look at the methodology itself as well. And prior to that, at the end of introduction, usually people should highlight their aims and objectives for this paper. Then you move on to the methodology. You'll see how the methodology is. If it's replicable, can you do it yourself? Have they written it in a clear format? And the statistical tools they use in methodology, what type of study this paper is. Is it a is it a randomized trial? Is this a observational study, or is this a systematic review or meta-analysis? You go through the different processes, and then you'll have a look at the methodology itself as a whole, understand the statistics they've used, why they used it, and then you'll move on to the results to see how well the results are laid out. It's quite easy to understand. Have they covered everything they said they were in the methodology itself? And then you'll finally look at the results, see if it's captured everything. In terms of doing this, these different paper reviews, you should go through a systematic approach that's very much standardized. For example, for systematic reviews and meta-analysis, sometimes you can use the PRISMA statement. It's a checklist that ensures you've done everything step by step. If you're looking at clinical trials or randomized clinical trials, you use something called a consort statement. This will go through step by step to see everything's been reached and met for a clinical trial, and the different steps from all the way from introduction or all the way to conclusion has been also used as well. And the most important thing is all the references are also relevant and up to date, and is done systematically as well, and it's accurate. And sometimes you can use other a checklist as well. So one checklist for observational studies, which are cohort studies, case control studies, cross-sectional studies, very common in the medical field because RCTs aren't plausible to do all the time, so they're very expensive. So we tend to look back retrospectively or look sometimes prospectively as well. You use something called a STROBE statement. This stands for strengthening the reporting of observational studies in epidemiology. So you generally have a checklist for each paper you encounter, and you go in a stepwise way that's logical, and also you can justify. The ultimate aim of this is to essentially say whether or not you accept a paper, if it's borderline, if you accept it, and also comments for the actual authors themselves to improve on the paper if they haven't. And a common pitfall is a lot of authors actually not highlighting how they did their samples numbers, if they did like a power study or things like this. So there's little subtle things that can be improved on. But in general, going through these different checklists and guidelines, hence when you actually publish a paper or put a paper for publication, ensure you actually checked everything against the guideline yourself, because this is most likely what a reviewer will also look through. Unless they're extremely experienced, and then they will purely look at it from their specific expertise. However, in general, people use checklists to ensure everything's reached a good standard.
Thank you very much for your thoughtful responses, Dr. Johnson. I truly appreciate your insights. So I'd like to respectfully continue to direct my second question to Dr. Yeşil. Hello, Dr. Yeşil. Can you hear me?
Hello. Yeah, I can hear you, Mr. Semi.
I'd like to ask to you our question that considering that each patient or person has their own unique medical history, how reliable can AI be in providing information for the healthcare systems?
Yeah, that's a very good question. But maybe that was the AI advantage, the understanding the whole picture of the patient and giving a analyze about the whole picture. So when you look to current medical system, you can see each specialty has a deep dive into their specialty. But as we look at the general picture, patient has very different specialty together in themselves. So we need to look to patient in a more holistic way, as Dr. Johnson said. So AI has an advantage in that section, because as a human, for example, I am a doctor, and as a human, I have some limitation. So I can't maybe process very huge data of the patient at the same time as AI did it. So because of that, AI has some advantage at this point. For example, AI can analyze very big data of the patient, and especially other than my specialty. So as you know, being a specialist is require very experience and information. So it is hard to just one person, one super doctor know every specialty and every information about the whole medicine. So, but AI can have some information about all the specialties. So there are some advantage in this situation. So if we can teach the AI, especially LLMs, large language models, in the big data and quality data, and if we can direct them more confidence way, we can get very good and personalized answers from them. So we can analyze the person with his or her own medical history and feature, like, for example, their biochemical test, genetic test, family history, or previous visits or medication together. And especially also we can add to another part of the medicine is like healthy lifestyle habits. So because in current medical system, we don't so much care, giving attention to these lifestyle habits, but that's also These are also very important for understanding the disease or development of this disease or prognosis. So the AI also can consider about their lifestyle and other the factors also affecting their health.
Okay, thanks a lot for your insights, Dr. Yeşil. Your answers were very helpful, and I'm grateful for your time. Actually,
Dr. Samir, sorry for interrupting.
yeah,
I wish to add
please.
something to Dr. Yusuf's comments.
Yeah, please.
So in real clinical settings, we do not trust solely on patient history. We always tend to double check, confirm the medical history, get it from our patients by checking laboratory, by checking radiology. So we tend to believe the objective results of these parameters. So yes, we can get hints from our patients' comments and sayings, but we need to confirm their sayings and their symptoms by double checking with other systems. So I don't believe any system, any person or AI can provide, reliable information. We need to double check everything. As a doctor, it's our main responsibility. Yeah, that's my comment.
Thanks a lot for your additional comments, Dr. Serin. So thank you again, Dr. Yeşil, also for your insightful responses. Following that, I'd like to ask another question to Dr. Ratarat. So, Dr. Ratarat, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello. I'd like to ask one of our questions to you, actually, and this is, what are the ventures in digital health, and could you please elaborate these?
Of course. Thank you for your question. So actually there are many interesting things going on in the field of digital health at the moment. So I would, because the field is really broad, I would give you 3 examples of exciting new company that is in the forefront of the world of digital health. The first one is called Linda's Health. I sent the link to the email to the company website into the group chat. So the first one is when you launch a new product like in healthcare, right, you need to have a clinical trial, but the business model and how the business of clinical trial operates centers on one of the organization called CRO, contract research organization, and their business model it's what causing inefficiency of this clinical trial, making the pharmaceutical company spending a lot of money in the R&D when they done clinical trial before they're able to launch the new medicine. So these startups came up with a new idea, new business model, which give them a new nickname called the anti-CRO, which means usually the traditional CRO, they would charge by hour, and that means that the longer they work for the pharmaceutical company, the more money they make. And sometimes they just intentionally making all this clinical trial like a bit slower and inefficient so that they can make more money. But this startup came up with a new business model that it will agree with all the pharmaceutical company or their client that each in the trial, they will set a different milestones according to steps of achieving certain milestone, and you pay according to each steps, not the hour of the effort that will be put into into the trial. And the second company that is really interesting right now is called Dokla. Dokla is a virtual hospital wards, which combines all this exciting new technology of wearable, remote patient monitoring, telemedicine, and mobile health. So they combine it into a virtual hospital wards that you can actually monitor patients at home using all of these wearable devices, and also the certified clinical grade all the sensors and the remote monitoring system. That way they can set up the hospital wards for each of the patient inside their home, eliminating the regular using of the actual like brick and mortar hospital ward. And this also, the uniqueness of this also make them the largest leading virtual hospital in the European country. And the third one is called Themia. Themia is a mental health app. I know that there are millions of mental health apps in the market, but this one is really special. The reason why it's really special, it's because it's backed by research. So what they do is they use AI to detect do mental health assessment to identify mental illnesses through the behavior of user using the app, the voice recognition. So not the usual voice recognition, but the content and how people speak, the speaking pattern and everything. But the reason why I use this as one of the exciting example is that it's all backed by research. If you look at the Google Scholar, they have the entire Google Scholar dedicated to their company. You should take a look. They have over 20, 30 publication that is due by the company to support their business. So this also highlight the importance of having a solid evidence-based digital health company. Thank you.
What was the name of this company? Actually, can you say that again, please?
The first one is
The last one. Actually, I asked, but of course
last
you
one.
can also share these total company names with our last report.
The last one is called Themia. Thymia. Can you?
Okay.
I think I type it in the group chat. I think.
Yes, they appear in the chat box.
Okay. Okay. Great.
Dr. Ceylan, you may not be seeing them because you're on the presentation mode, so they
yeah,
are in the
yeah.
chat box.
Okay. Okay. Great.
Also, I'm curious about this telemedicine system. Are these systems currently working on UK or another European countries?
Yes. So about the telemedicine, for Dokla, I think they're working in the UK and also they're expanding into other European country. So far they have in the UK, Scotland, Ireland, and other countries in the EU as well.
Well, I guess specific medical field, medical departments are using this system right now, right? Or all the medical departments are using this system currently?
So yes, so actually they are partner with a lot of hospital. For example, in the UK, they have, so each of the special thing is when you are the startup, right, in the UK, even though the NHS is one single system, but when you're selling to your startup, you're selling it into each of the trusts individually. So one
Okay.
trust is like one hospital network. So these they are partnered with a lot of trusts already, like in the UK. So the famous one would be Guy and St. Thomas, Imperial College Healthcare Trust, and also the Oxford Barts Health and Royal Free Hospital in London. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Ratarat, for your detailed responses. I'm very grateful, actually. And also, lastly, I'd like to close with the final question to Dr. Serin. Hello, Dr. Serin.
Hello again.
I'd like to ask our last question for the round one, actually. And this is what challenges might a medical school graduate in Turkey face when pursuing a career in digital health, either domestically or internationally, and how can they overcome these challenges?
Yeah, that's a very great question. Yeah. Actually, yeah, I'm currently doing my clearing my mind on this pathway. So when we see any challenge, I think we should focus on our strengths. So for Turkish people, we have good resilience and incredible academic skills, thanks to our, exam and competence system in our country. But when it comes to challenges, so I would say awareness. Actually, there is no structured education in our country for digital health, even for artificial intelligence in medicine. So I don't know how many medical students giving lectures for AI in medical applications. The second one will be, I would say, probably language barrier. So Turkish people, we tend to overreact, overlook about our English abilities. So in my experience, for 1 year experience in the UK, so I would say native speakers simply do not care how you speak. They simply care about what do you mean exactly. Especially for the UK, I think they love different accents and different backgrounds and different voices. I think they do care about diversity. So I would say these two challenges, awareness and language barrier. I hope it answers your question.
Thank you for your insightful answer, Dr. Serin. I appreciate it. And I'd like to pass the next round to our undergraduate school, undergraduate medical student, and also my friend, Dr. Egemen. Thank you again for all of your inspirational and insightful answers. I really appreciate it. And closing the round one.
So we've actually limited this panel to 1 hour, but if it's okay with the other panelists, I would like to move on and get some interesting questions from our medical school student. I hope the panelists are okay if we extend the panel a bit. Okay, thank you very much. So Egemen, it's your turn.
Thank you so much, Professor Atalay. So I'm a 5th-year medical student here at Eskişehir Osman Gazi University. Hi, everyone. I will be presenting you the questions without further ado, for the same time. Here we go. For the second round, our first question goes to Dr. Yeşil. I would like to ask you, how do you ensure data security in AI-supported health solutions?
Thank you for this question. The healthy, this is similar to digital health and AI supported healthcare data. It's mainly health data. So the health data is, this is a special data type, and this is because contain very personalized information. So we need to care morely than any other type of data. So in the technical side, if we develop an app or a website, if we collect any health data, firstly, we need to transfer this data to, for example, if we use cloud, securely, because there are many types of different data transportation in technical side, and especially there are some encryption models. So we need to encrypt that data and transfer to cloud or any other service via this encryption. So the second one is this is not when the using, but because question is related to AI supported. If we train any AI supported system, we need to anonymize the data first, and then we need to train the model. And because of that reason, when you develop an application, when you develop an AI model, this can be a problem, especially some of the health organizations don't want to give their data outside of their organization. So because of that reason, the new concept is, this is not so new, but federated learning is another concept to keep their data in their organization. What is it that federated learning? It's a concept to developing the model inside of the organization. And you don't pull the data outside of the organization. You are training to all the model in organization. and getting the model checkpoint. The model checkpoint is like summarizing and trained version of the model. So you get the that's checkpoint model, and you can do that's a training process in multiple organization, and you can get whole and master model, but you don't have any data of that organization. So there are many different type of data security steps you can follow, but it depends what type of product you have. It is an AI model, or is it an application, or is it just offline working? Maybe your model or your application can run on offline device in the hospital or health organization. So yeah, I think it's the answer to your question.
Yeah, thank you so much for your insights. I would like to proceed.
You're welcome.
Next question to Dr. Ratarat. How can medical students prepare themselves for a career in digital health entrepreneurship?
Thank you for your question. This is actually really interesting because digital health entrepreneurship, it's a field that's constantly changing. So as an entrepreneur, you need to be able to keep up with all this new trendy tech and then all the latest trends. And also, I would say how to prepare themselves. The first best advice for me would just say go out there and see the world, because one of the most inspiring and also eye-opening for me was the clinical rotation abroad. So I was lucky enough during my medical school that my school has an MOU with one of the the University in Massachusetts in the United States. I did 1 month of clinical rotation there. So you kind of see how healthcare operates in different contexts. And with this context, it's really important with digital health startups, because each of the local or the region have their own special or specialization or like problems that is specific for your company to solve. So if you come up with one solution, it might work in one context, but it might not work in another context. So this is really important for you to go out there and see the world as well, because it's also help you when you are expanding your company abroad, and also how you will adapting those solutions into different regions as well. And the second one would be, because as an entrepreneur, networking is really important. So networking when you're young also helps, because those network is stronger and easier. Like people tend to get close to you better, like when you were young. One of the really useful organization that you might want to join if you're a medical student, that I joined as well, is Asian Medical Student Association. It's one of the largest medical student association in Asia Pacific, with around I think 20 countries that is a member, and they held conference twice a year. You guys should look into. I give the link into the chat as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your insights. I think this information will be highly in interest for any of the medical students interested in entrepreneurship. To proceed to the next question, I would like to convey the question to Dr. Johnson. What challenges have you faced when developing digital health products, and how did you overcome them?
Yeah, thank you, Martin. In terms of digital health products, so my current PhD is in looking at creating a digital health product to evaluate hesitancy, such as vaccine hesitancy, medication adherence hesitancy. The most challenging step is very much depending on what type of product you have. Is it a physical product? Is it a digital product itself? For example, if it's an AI product, the biggest obstacle you have is data, because a lot of AI models are very much derived and works off data and data availability. And sometimes data can be scarce and limited, and accessing data can be quite a tricky issue. I'm not sure how it works in the in terms of systems in Turkey, but in the UK itself, it can be very difficult to access data unless you get a lot of approval, a lot of ethics approval, and also a lot of obstacles and barriers. It does help that I have a background of being a doctor and also being an academic, which does streamline some ethics approval. For example, if you work with a university, you can get institutional based ethics approval to get access to data. So yes, when it comes to digital health products, depending on what product you're developing, for example, if it's an AI product, one of the biggest issue you'll have is data itself and access to data. Then with an AI product, again, it comes on to things such as trust and usability and building up that trust. And usually you show that as an example by showing how the product's been used by different people. And a good way to do that is to actually publish some results of your product or the tool you've utilized, which can build up trust. And the other thing to consider is if you're actually making a physical tool itself as well, again, testing it out on participants, making sure it's safe, deciding whether or not there's actually a medical device itself, which it would be if it's a physical tool, and having the relevant approvals for that. So there's health research authority and medical device authority, and having these different approvals. Those can be obstacles as well. So from my personal experience is mainly with data, because I work with artificial intelligence design tools, and that's interactive. So it's just accessing this, and ways to overcome this is by either you need to create new data itself. However, AI models typically works with thousands and thousands of different data sets and data points. There's two ways: either you create the new data yourself, recruit participants. Again, that's a very long process, and again requires a lot of ethical approval. And alternatively, you can look at existing data sets. So again, the UK is a very good ecosystem for a lot of studies, long-term studies, longitudinal studies, where in the UK we tend to track a lot of studies in the long term, so 10, 20, 30, 40 years down the line, and a lot of databases are actually shared online. So in the Southwest, they have the AVEN study, which looks at various different aspects of health, how it affects individuals' health. So similarly, in Harvard, actually, they have their own study of the health and AIDS study at Harvard, which I believe has been running since World War I or World War II for almost 80 to 100 years, where they look at age of different people and how different societal and health and decision affect their age outcomes. So in terms of this, it's just accessing data really and finding out where to access data, and especially if you're making AI tool. And this requires a lot of digging around, because you can create your own data by recruiting people, but of course this comes a lot of financial burden, associated cost, obstacles with ethics. So yes, in terms of the tools itself, very much depends on what tool you're making. But if it's any health related tools, always expect ethical boundaries, approval boundaries, and also validation for it to be actually used as a tool. And then also the issue is trying to get it to a customer or a hospital, so B2B to a business, or B2C or B2B2C, business to customer. This again, you have to collaborate with either hospitals or with private hospitals. So that there are a lot of obstacles and steps to the process, definitely for sure. But that's also a good way to identify problems and come up with potential solutions as well. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your answer. I think it's a very detailed process, and you really explained it very truly. So thank you again. For the next question, I would like to ask wait a second. Yes, Dr. Serin. As a Achieving Scholar, could you briefly explain the scholarship application process and highlight the important points that medical students and graduates should be aware of?
Okay, yeah, it's better to explain Chevening in the first place. Chevening is a prestigious scholarship given by British government, UK government, and I think it's a lifetime opportunity for anyone, regardless of being a medical student or not. In simple terms, there are actually 3 stages, I would say. So the first stage is about explaining yourself, represent yourself in terms of leadership, networking backgrounds of yourself, and along with some dedication. You need to show dedication and your interest for higher education. On the second stage, second phase, you will be called by a panel. They're going to interview you about your essays. They're going to ask you some follow-up questions regarding your essays. And at the last stage, you need to get approval. You need to get a letter from a university based in the UK. So if you are successful on these three stages, you would be called a Chevening Scholar. So what Chevening offers? Chevening offers a tuition-free education at some prestigious universities in the UK. It also covers your monthly stipend along with your insurance and flight fares. So actually, it improves you to become more internationally engaged. At least it did so on me. So for medical students, what they can show to panel, to Chevening selectors. So I would say be concrete, be sure about talking yourself with some concrete examples. You can show your show your research. You can show your some volunteering background on yourself. So I would say one thing: be concrete and show your dedication, because it is not very common among medical students. And yes, we have two more Cheveners among us now, but it's not very common among medical professions. So I would say you would be unique, and you would be a rare opportunity for them to invest in.
Thank you so much, Dr. Serin. So this rounds up our questions section. For the second round, I would like to hand the word to Professor.
Egemen, actually, we will be closing the session. So we've had a lot of insights, and it's been very fruitful, this panel with our very distinguished speakers. So I'd like to hand over the microphone to our faculty dean, Professor Özdemir, for his closing remarks. I'd like to thank all the speakers and the panelists, and Dr. Serin for his help in organizing this panel, and Dr. Mert Egemen Çalışkan. He's not a doctor yet, but he has 1.5 more years to go. And Dr. Ceylan for his contribution. So Professor Özdemir, could you please share your closing remarks with us?
Thank you, Eray. It's great that I have heard so many new things. I learned a lot, and actually it was a very great session, to be honest. And I'm proud that our students also be involved in these sessions. And thanks for all speakers for the very grateful and helpful speech and recommendations. Dr. Hans Johnson, Dr. Ratrat, and Turkish colleagues Oğuzhan Serin and Yusuf Yeşil. It's very helpful and very actually good to have their opinions for the future journey for digital health career. I hope one of our students or some of them will be involved in this kind of career plan. So thanks for the session, Eray, especially, and other colleagues and other students.